Joni with your live Pinpoint Doppler 12 Futurecast.
Good morning to you. I'm meteorologist Pete Mangione with the latest updated information on Irene. Irene right now a Category 1 storm, winds 90 miles an hour. She did weaken overnight, lost some of her organization, but still a powerful storm. Will be on the east side of the path of the hurricane. At least confidence is growing with that path, and the height of the storm moves through tomorrow. Tonight things will start to go downhill. In terms of a timeline, you can see between noon and 8 o'clock we may get some of the outer rain bands. Could even pick up a few showers before that. 8 p.m. to overnight, the wind and the rain really start to pick up. And then tomorrow between about 8 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock in the evening, that's the bullseye of the storm. But even after 8 o'clock tomorrow night, the rain will come to an end, but the wind and the storm surge could still be an issue. That's because we have two high tides, one tomorrow morning and one tomorrow evening. By Monday, this thing is out of here. Talking about tropical storm warnings for inland areas, we have a hurricane warning across the coast. Now, in terms of hurricane force winds, I don't think we'll see many areas which see sustained hurricane force winds, but there's a chance, especially down here in southwestern Rhode Island, where we see some hurricane force gusts over 74 miles an hour. The rest of us will probably stay lower than that with sustained winds anywhere between 30, 40, perhaps up to 50 with some slightly stronger gusts. Now, in addition to the wind, we also have to watch the flooding situation. Right now, it does look like the heaviest axis of rain will be off to our west, the north and west of 295, so northwest Rhode Island may have some issues with this. Right now, between 4 to 8 inches of rain is possible, and this will be a big problem out in central Connecticut, out through central Mass. In Providence, right now, I think we stay out of the really heavy rain. Right now, 2 to 4 inches from eastern Mass into Providence, but we're not very far away from this heavier axis of rain, and if the track shifts a little further to the east, we could get in some of that heavier rain here in the capital city. So that is something we'll have to watch very carefully. Not only storm surge flooding, but flooding from plain old rainfall. All right, here's the track of the storm. A Category 1 just offshore from areas like Maryland, Delaware, just south of Jersey by 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. So basically late tonight through tomorrow morning. Still a Category 1, so we are expecting gradual weakening of Irene. However, it does look like she'll stay a weak Category 1 or potentially a strong tropical storm into tomorrow afternoon as she makes her closest pass. You can see this particular model, the official forecast actually from the Hurricane Center, keeps her a Category 1 storm. And even if she downgrades to a weak tropical storm, the fact that we have wind moving like this means I think we'll have extensive issues with storm surge. Let's talk more about that right now. Basically, the wind will be pushing from the south and the east. That's essentially pushing the water on shore. It also kicks up some very big waves. The red represents the huge waves offshore, so not a good time to be out in your boat. And in terms of that wind direction, again, that wind will be coming in from the southeast, pushing all of that water right on shore. So two high tides to watch out for. High tide 7:36 in the morning, another one at 7:57. Keep in mind this is tomorrow. This is not today. Today will be okay, although the swells will start to build into the afternoon. The initial storm surge forecast would be 4 to 8 feet above the normal water level. That would be 3 to 5 feet above ground, but this is subject to change. This is also very track dependent. And again, this is the #1 way in which people get in trouble with hurricanes is that storm surge flooding. So something to watch for. In addition, we'll have some issues with wind. Most of us will at least see some tropical storm force winds, most likely in the range between about 30, 40, maybe 50 miles an hour sustained. Could see some gusts up to 73, but I think that will be the exception rather than the rule. But even winds of 30, 40, 50 miles an hour for a long period of time can bring down tree branches, create power outages, and blow things around your porch. So you want to bring that stuff inside and be prepared to be without power here for a day or two. Now, as we go into the Category 1 scenario, which is less likely for most of us, but it's a chance a few of us could be in this category with some strong wind gusts. That's when we're talking about more extensive damage to power lines, large branches being snapped, and some roof and signage damage. And it would be in southwestern Rhode Island, which would have the strongest chance or the highest chance of seeing some of this. But nonetheless, I mean, damaging winds pretty much everywhere. The question is the extent or how widespread that damage will be. In terms of the potential impacts, well, large waves, beach erosion, a tornado watch may have to be issued tomorrow. That's a common thing when we have hurricanes and tropical storms moving through. Trees, limbs, wires down, potentially coastal flooding, and of course, as I just mentioned, those power outages. Let's move on to the 7-day. You can see once we get into Monday morning, Irene is out of here, 81 and sunny by Monday afternoon. Catherine, back to you.
Hey, thank you, Pete. Well, the Department of Environmental Management is reminding pet owners to include their furry friends